Hello everyone and welcome back to another new today's video. We're going to be going over what could possibly be next in terms of banners. So of course we could have a new festival coming up, or we could not. We could just have, a standard Catastrophe banner, a standard Ragnarok banner, standard seasonal banner. Because we are getting towards that time of year. Normally we have our first seasonal banner around this. It's normally the first banner in July, give or take, a week or two. That is normally what we have. So I'm going to go over, mainly just because it's kind of weird, because next week we should be getting like a big banner, but then it wouldn't be the end of the month. We'd be getting the stream on the 19th on JP, and the banner come out on the 20th. So what could possibly happen is that next week we get a 242 banner, which we haven't had in a very, very long time. And then 2 weeks after that, we end up getting a summer festival. 4 weeks after that, we get another festival. 4 weeks after that, we then get a collab. That is what possibly it could be, or they no longer care about the fact that it has to be at the end of the month, and they just release it. They release a big banner every other banner, basically, because that's what they're doing. They release a crap banner, big banner, crap banner, big banner, because basically every 4 weeks. That's how it works, and that's how it could be. So next week, of course, we will find out if we are getting a good banner or a crappy banner. If it's a seasonal festival, who could it be? If it is a seasonal festival, it does not have to link up with the story's timeline. What that means is, for example, yes, we are now in 4 nights, but technically they could make another festival Diane, which is what I think it would be. Diane currently only has one festival in the game. Technically, you could say there's 2 variants of it. You have Valentine's Day and you have normal Queen Diane, but that's still only one copy of it. It's only got one set of moves. She's only got one ultimate sort of thing, and that's how you define a character. Is by ultimates. There's 2 Lost Veins. There's only one Festival Lost Vein. And same with the Chad King and Skinny Winged King. But yeah, if it's a seasonal festival, I do think we're looking at a Diane, mainly because there aren't many Dianes in the game. Like, if you go to... Currently we're sort by races. So if you go by King, there are 2 Kings, yes. There's many Meliodases. Diane's, once again, there's only one. So I feel like if there is another festival, it will be Diane, and it will just be... I don't know, maybe Diane with some armor. Maybe a DPS Diane, possibly. I would like to see a DPS Diane. We haven't seen, Diane's always sort of been given this tank role. She's never really been this DPS role. Apart from this Diane isn't too bad. She's the green Ragnarok Diane. She can put out quite a bit of damage. But she's not really meant to be a DPS. I want a DPS Diane. A Diane that's really going to put out some damage. Like, this Diane wasn't too bad. Queen Diane isn't bad. But, of course, she heavily relies on her passive being maxed out to deal damage, and the fact that you have her 6/6 to deal damage. If not, her damage can be super underwhelming. Which is the only, sad bit about her, really. If it's a seasonal festival, it could also be a Catastrophe. We haven't had a seasonal Catastrophe. We haven't had a Catastrophe in a very long time. A new one. We haven't had a new Catastrophe in... a year and a quarter. It was the last time we got a Catastrophe, a proper one. It was Roxy. Awakened Roxy. I'm talking about new named characters. It was Awakened Roxy, which is a very long time ago. So we could also see some seasonal variants of them. When was the last time we actually saw a summer variant of the Catastrophes? So you've got 1 summer variant, 2, 3. We've got 3 summer variants. All of them are very old. So it's possible that we could see a summer variant of the newer or Mark II variants, for example, a Summer Roxy, which would probably be green to fit the red-blue-green cycle. We could get a Summer Mono, which would probably be red. A Summer Giant Lilia, which would be green. All these different things. We could possibly see it. So that is something we need to keep an eye out. But of course, if it is a dead banner and you do want to summon on Percival, go for it. Of course, that's only if it's a dead banner. If it's a festival, that's the reason I say wait, because if it is a festival next week, or, when does Percival's banner disappear? Percival's banner disappears on the 1st of July, on Global. And we'll find out what the next banner on JP is. Then, okay. So if we are unfortunate and next week is not the festival, you'll have to decide before we find out whether you want to summon on Percival or not. Because that's unfortunately how it's going to be. I'm hoping they don't do another festival, because this is the only month where we can possibly have downtime. So throughout the year, well, basically, Grand Cross has like a cycle, not a cycle, but they stick to like a slight schedule. So normally the first month of the year is a dead end of month banner. But we had a collab, and then we had Arthur, and then we had Gotha, then we had a collab, then we've got Escanor. This is the only dead month we are able to have for the entire year. What I mean by that is after June, you've got July, always a July festival. August, always a collab in August. September, always a festival. October is normally a collab, like end of October is normally a collab, and then you've got, of course, the November festival and then December festival. This is the only month they've got to have a dead month, and I highly recommend they do it. If not, I believe the community will be in absolute uproar if they don't, because that would mean every single end of the month banner would have been a must summon. All of them would have been either 900 or 600, most of them being 900, with only having a few collabs. Yes, technically you can say the collabs are not must summons, but they are very exclusive characters. Most of them, Shield Hero, all of the characters were quite good on their re-release. They all had quite good buffs, quite significant buffs. Raftalia probably got the biggest buffs you could possibly ever asked for. Nothme became a human support character. You know, Vittoria was broken. Gloss was okay. She's probably the only one that you could technically say you wanted to skip. But Vittoria was absurd, and she's still quite good to this day. But, of course, collabs. What could we expect from collabs as well? Probably new collabs. Mainly because we're sort of getting to the point now where the only real rerun we could have is Stranger Things, and I do feel like Netmarble was sort of like, we don't want to touch that, we're going to leave that in the corner. That never happened, because I don't think it would go well nowadays, especially where they're in a very important transition time between, you know, the Seven Deadly Sins story ending and the Four Knights ending. For example, some people of Seven Deadly Sins may not be fans of Four Knights, and vice versa, so they've got to try and keep players in, and the way to do that is to release either A, good seasonal characters, that being, of course, female characters, or releasing good collaborations. What collaborations could we see? Solo leveling is technically on the table now because the game's out, the anime's been out for a little while. Shangri-La Frontier, I think, has quite an opportunity to, because if you don't know, Shangri-La Frontier is made by Netmarble, the anime is made by Netmarble, so we could possibly see that, and I think that would fit the game quite well. Eminence in Shadow, once again, standard, I think, quite easily. They have worked with Netmarble a few times, so Shangri-La collaborated with Eminence in Shadow game, once again, same you know, Netmarble collaborating with them, so maybe that is why. But we could see it, they've been collaborating with a few games as well. Eminence in Shadow sort of now started collaborating with games, possibly means they could. Shangri-La the same, they've also been collaborating as well. Once again, that's still owned by Netmarble, so they can just throw that in whenever they want. Konosuba, yes, it's currently going through third season. They could technically release a collab on the second season, or the third, or even the movies, if they wanted to. I'm not sure really what else they've got. They've not really got too much that I would say is like 100% they could make lots of money. I do feel like they should start gambling on collabs more. I don't know, maybe spend a little bit more money, get a little bit more of an expensive collab, but it might pay back. You know, I'm talking about Chainsaw Man. People probably think, oh, why do you keep going on about Chainsaw Man collaborated? It collaborated with Nikkei. It can collaborate with Grand Cross. That's all I'm saying. You know, Grand Cross has got quite a good reputation for a free-to-play and well-respected game. I don't see why they wouldn't. I think it's just Netmarble don't want to put in the money. So if they collaborated with Nikkei, I don't think they really care about their image collaborating with games, because if you don't know, Nikkei has a lot of boobs, and Grand Cross isn't as showy as Nikkei, so I thought they would, at least. But I do feel like they should start pushing their boat out just a little bit and pick either older shows that wouldn't cost them as much, but they know are still quite popular, that are like completely ended. Darling in the Franxx wouldn't work, still a popular show, but don't think so. Comic Kill, really popular anime, still quite popular to this day. They literally have half the voice actors for it in the game. Voice actor for Esteth is Lilia, and the voice actor for Akame is Elizabeth. So they've already got two of the main voice actors. It would make a lot of money as the show is still very, very popular. The manga, not so much, it's actually stopped being made. But I do feel like they should push out their boat a little bit more, go for a little bit more obscure collabs, try and step out their boundaries, so, you know, just step out their comfort zone a little bit, because I do feel like it may attract more players. Of course, don't go down the route to like My Hero, mainly because My Hero Demon Slayer just wouldn't fit. Maybe they would go Demon Slayer, right? But My Hero would not fit. There are too many characters to choose from. You know, if they didn't choose a specific character, more people would be angry. You know, if they're doing 4 characters, I think it's impossible to do a show like My Hero and only add 4 characters. You know, JJK, possibly. I don't think they've collaborated with any games before, so that puts them low on the list. You know, I just think they should push out their boat a little bit more. But once again, that's a discussion for August, and you know, August and October time when we're going to get those collabs. Because of course, I do think that there could be 2 new collabs, because the only rerun, actually no, the only rerun I think we will probably actually get this year. So I think one of them would definitely be a Jobless Reincarnated rerun, which I think will actually might be in August, and the new collab will be in October, which is what I think it could possibly, or the other way around. Maybe the other way around, just to sort of let the current season of Jobless, I think it's finished now, but just let it sort of set. But yeah, you know, lots of things to look forward to. Make sure you are saving your diamonds, don't spend them stupidly. Of course, if you do want a specific character really badly, you're more than welcome to summon for it. But make sure you know what's coming up before you summon, because you may look forward to whatever's coming up next more than what you summoned on. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.